For thousands of years, Satan has deceived the world in all types of ways, and in these last days, he has used one of his greatest weapons: music. According to the scriptures, he was created as an angelic musical conductor. When the presence of the Most High moved in heaven, he would play the most beautiful music. Musical instruments were created in him. Ezekiel 28:13-14. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering: the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth the tabrets, and of the pipes are musical instruments. He was the anointed cherub with great musical talent, and like the Pied Piper, he plays his music and causes the youth to follow him to their own destruction. How does he do it? By bringing forth musical prophets that will capture the mind of millions of people and cause them to disobey Elohim in worshiping Satan. This documentary is about several such musical prophets which use their music to send hidden messages to the world, messages from Satan himself. Many think that hip-hop is how Satan finally got a hold of Yah's people. But as you will see in this first of many episodes, Satan has established musical prophets that were already causing people to commit great sins against the Most High Elohim. Prince Rogers Nelson was an American singer, songwriter, record producer, multi-instrumentalist, actor, and director. He was known for his eclectic work, flamboyant stage presence, extravagant dress and makeup, and wide vocal range. His innovative music integrated a wide variety of styles, including funk, rock, R&B, new wave, soul, psychedelia, and pop. He sold over 100 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling music artists of all time. He won 8 Grammy Awards, 6 American Music Awards, a Golden Globe Award, and an Academy Award for the 1984 film Purple Rain. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004. With all of this success, it's hard to believe that someone like Prince would be one of Satan's musical prophets, so we will allow you to be the judge.
I remember the first time I heard Prince. It was a song called Soft and Wet. I was only about 13 years old. Now that I think about the title, the song sounds very sexual. He confirms it when he makes reference to his sugar cane. It was a very subtle approach to mentioning his private parts without being so obvious. Now, there were other artists that were singing lust songs, but Prince had a calling from the devil to take it to a whole new level. He took it up a notch when he did the song titled I Want to Be Your Lover. Man, he wasn't afraid of being silenced by the music industry. He came right at you with all this lust and the public wanted more. His music was so magnetic and sounded so alluring until parents didn't even care if their children was listening to it. But it wasn't until he came out with the album titled Dirty Mind that I, as a 16-year-old, was shocked. This, in my opinion, at one time was the most filthy album on the billboards. It was full of detestable sexual statements. He even mentioned an incest relationship at 16 with the so-called 32-year-old sister. The song is called Sister, and the lyrics are very graphic. It was horrible, and people was listening to it with their children as if it was another language. Even though the lyrics of the song were fabricated, he put that filth out there to deceive people and to turn on the spirit of incest in the youth.
Music is considered somewhat of a universal language in which the listeners are in tune with the sound more so than the lyrics and the covert elements or demonic suggestions. The lyrics do play a major role in how we are affected by the music, but the major pull, I would say, would be the sound that's applied to the lyrics. Now that is what actually gets you to listen to the music in the first place.
This was truly horrible. But this isn't why we called him one of Satan's musical prophets. He was given this title because he actually has messages in his songs to the believers of the Messiah and to the assemblies, the churches. Before we go there though, let's talk about Prince. At one time, I believe that he thought he was the Antichrist, because he sure put it out there that he was the Antichrist or the anti-Messiah that will take over the kingdom of heaven, overthrow the Most High, and usher in all the children of the devil. There's a song he did that's titled, I Would Die For You. Now let's read these lyrics, okay? He starts off the song and he says, I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I'm something that you'll never understand. I'll never beat you. I'll never lie. And if you're evil, I'll forgive you by and by. So if you're evil, I'll forgive you by and by. Not if you do evil. Okay. Then he says, cause you, I would die for you. Yeah, darling, if you want me to, I would die for you. Now, listen to what else he says. He says, I'm not your lover. I'm not your friend. I'm something that you'll never comprehend. No need to worry. No need to cry. I'm your Messiah. And you're the reason why I would die for you. He was literally putting it out there that I'm your Messiah. I will die for you too. And he says, I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. What are you? If you're not a woman, you're not a man. See, this is a spirit talking through him.
You ever notice how a song can say some of the most diabolical things and is simply written off as the artist displaying his or her musical talent? Let's use, for example, a song that glorifies rape. If you were having a personal conversation with someone about such a violent act, would you think it was normal for them to justify this act in conversation? Most of us would think it was strange, but if you put it to a song or add some music to it, it becomes the latest hit. A good example would be a song by Queen called Bohemian Rhapsody. There's actually a line in a verse that says, Mama, I just killed a man. I put a gun to his head, pulled the trigger, now he's dead. You see, and another verse in that very same song says, Mama Mia, let me go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside just for me. So technically, when you sing that song by Queen, you are in agreement with what's being said in that song and making that same verbal confession that Beelzebub has a devil put aside just for you.
Years ago, I used to drive a truck, and we had a long trip this one particular time, and so we had to stay over in this one city. And so I had got myself a motel that I was staying in, and you know, like normal, you park your truck. It's time to go to sleep. You go to sleep. We eat whatever, eat dinner, whatever. You go to sleep. So I wasn't really into a lot of television watching, but this particular night I was tired. I went to sleep, but I woke up early in the morning. I mean, real early. It must have been like 5 in the morning or so. And so I decided to turn the TV on. When I turned it on, it was already on MTV. Okay. Now, the video to the song called 7 is coming right on as I turn the TV on. So I said, oh, this is Prince. And I already knew then that he was into some crazy stuff. I already knew about his messages and stuff like that. And so I was curious. I said, well, I wonder what he's saying in this one. The video starts with a plot about an inheritance that 7 men kills the father of this inheritance and tries to steal this inheritance from a woman, which is the sole heir. It's all a spiritual smokescreen to keep you from seeing and hearing what he's really saying. The song and the video is actually a message from Satan himself given to his prophet, Prince. The lyrics go like this. All 7 will watch them fall. They stand in the way of love, and we will smoke them all with an intellect and with savoir-faire. No one in the whole universe will ever compare. I am yours and you are mine, and together we'll love through all space and time. So don't cry, all 7 will die. Now right away, when I heard the number 7, I said something to this number 7. Because why have to be 7 men, right? So 7, all 7 will die. Notice in the video, there's a woman that's swinging a sword in the cloud. This is Babylon, swinging her sword. Then he goes on and he says this. Then he goes on and say, I saw an angel come down unto me, and in her hand she holds the very key. Words of compassion, words of peace, and in the distance an army's marching feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But behold, we will watch them fall. And we lay down on the sand of the sea. And before us animosity will stand and decree. We speak not of love, only blasphemy. And in the distance 6 others will curse me. But that's all right, for I will watch them fall. And then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now notice in the video, he's showing these 7 men falling as he says it. I'm gonna smoke them all, right? And they just go falling back. They have on suits, right? They're falling back, right? Now, what do you think 7 men represent? The 7 men represents the 7 assemblies or the 7 churches in Revelation. Remember Revelations chapter 1 verse 20? It says, the mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches or the 7 assemblies. Now if you look the word angel up in that passage, the Greek, it says by implication a pastor, to bring tidings or to bring a message. So the message that the Holy Spirit was, or the set apart Spirit was giving, was to the churches, it was to the angels or the pastors of the 7 churches that were in Asia Minor at that time. These are 7 men, the pastors of the 7 churches at that time. Then he goes on and he says, all 7 I will watch them fall. They stand in the way of love, and we will smoke them all with an intellect and savoir-faire. No one in the whole universe will ever compare. Okay? Then he goes on with this same part of the song here. He says, I am yours and you are mine, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, one day all 7 will fall. Now, notice he shows himself locked up and bound in a glass tube. This shows Satan locked up for 1,000 years, where he will be waiting to get what? Revenge. Because we know when he comes out angry to get revenge. It says that in Revelation that he goes out to deceive the whole world again, basically. Now, the lyrics goes on and it says this here. And we will see a plague and a river of blood, and every evil soul will surely die in spite of their 7 tears. But do not fear, for in the distance, 12 souls from now, you and me, I will still be here. We will still be here. Okay? Then he says, there will be a new city with streets of gold, and the young so educated will never grow old, and there will be no death, for with every breath, the voice of many colors sings a song that's so bold. Sing it while we watch them fall, just how old. Now, notice he's talking about, he said the voice of many colors. He's referring to none other than Satan. What song that Satan sings that's so bold and so old? What song is it? It's the song of Isaiah, which says what? I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim. I will sit upon the mountain of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Satan is saying through Prince that he's going to destroy the 7 churches, the assemblies in Revelation, remove the 12 souls, which are the 12 tribes of true Israel, and take over the kingdom of heaven. And how does he say he's going to do it? He says, I'm going to smoke them all. Where? With an intellect and with savoir-faire, which is flair, flamboyant. I'm going to do it so beautifully with style. In the video, you hear this real creepy, wicked laugh in the background. And notice also in certain parts there's a Middle Eastern sounding tune, which signifying what? Babylon. And throughout the video he keeps showing this woman and him just marching through the streets paved with gold with all these children behind them. They're going to take over heaven. He shows it right in the video just so boldly.
So now we can plainly see that the music industry is no joke. It's not some innocent form of artistic expression that we should just see as innocent. It's a special demonic force that's attached to this very industry and is after your soul.
Prince was one of Satan's musical prophets. The song Darling Nikki, he's actually telling you in the song that he sold his soul to the devil. Now, listen to the lyrics of this song. Now, the lyrics are pretty graphical, so bear with me on this one. He said, I knew a girl named Nikki. I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. I met her in the hotel lobby, masturbating with a magazine. She said, how would you like to waste some time? And I just could not resist when I saw little Nikki grind. Okay. Now, here's the part that lets you know he's not talking about no woman, okay? He's not talking about a woman in this, okay? He says, she took me to her castle. Wait a minute. She took me to her castle? So this woman has a castle? No, this is Satan. He said, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. She had so many devices, everything that money could buy. She said, sign your name on the dotted line. And the lights went out. And Nikki started to grind. So wait a minute. She took him to his castle, to her castle, and she had so many devices. Devices? Don't you know the scripture says we're not ignorant of what? Satan's devices? That's why he said devices. Everything that what? Money could buy. So I got all these devices, I got money. And he's telling him, sign your name on a dotted line. And so he signed his name. And then he said, when he signed his name, what happened? The lights went out. Darkness flooded his soul. You see. Now, listen to this part of the lyrics. The castle started spinning, or maybe it was my brain. I can't tell you what she did to me, but my body will never be the same. Her loving will kick your behind. Oh, she'll show you no mercy, but she'll show enough, show you how to grind. Now, then he goes on, he says, I woke up the next morning, Nikki wasn't there. I looked over and all I found was a phone number on the stair, and it said, thank you for a funky time, call me when you want to grind, pretty much. So it's a pretty gross song. But when you look at this, he said something happened in him. His soul became flooded with demons. And now he loves to see Nikki do her thing. Now he's a part of it. He sold his soul. At the end of the song, I find it kind of interesting, and this is where you got to understand what's going on. He has a backward message with the choir singing with him. This backward message says, hello, how are you? I'm fine, because I know the Lord is coming soon. Coming soon.
Hello, how are you? Fine, 'cause I know that the Lord is coming soon. Coming
Now, why you got this song with all this nasty stuff going on in the song and talk about how you signed the dotted line and sold your soul, but then all of a sudden you come back and you say something that seemed to be quite nice. The Messiah is coming soon, and I'm fine. Hello, how are you? And all these like this ain't out of place in the song. Well, think about what he's doing here. Okay, he would use scripture all the time in his music. A lot of his music was scriptures in a lot of his songs. Why does he do this? Because he's trying to draw the believers of the Messiah. He's trying to draw them so that they would listen to his music and think that it's nothing wrong because he's saying something about the scriptures in his music. That's why I was shocked. I knew how nasty his music was, and I thought it was really twisted when I heard they referred to it as the Lord's Prayer in the song Controversy. It sounded so weird to me to hear that prayer in this song Controversy, and with this person that's singing all this lustful stuff, dressing the way that he do. It's creepy. Now, I remember years ago, I had a friend of mine that went to a Prince concert in Detroit. And he said that the concert, at first it got quiet, it got dark, right? And it was quiet. And all of a sudden the lights came on and Prince was up on a cross like this. And he told me it was so quiet in there you could have dropped a pin and you would have heard it because people were just so shocked at it. He said he creeped him out so bad that he left the theater. Isn't that something? This is wickedness at a whole new level in music.
This is why the Bible says in 1 John chapter 2, verses 15 and 16, it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For any man that loveth the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that's in the world is what? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Is not of the Father, but of the world. You see, the majority of our music today is all about the lust and desires of the flesh, eyes, and the pride of life. This is why music should be taken very seriously as it relates to your soul. What you play in has to be played out.
he had a song that was called Anti-Christian. Again, a message to who? The believer. It's called Anti-Christian, wanted to be number one. But her kingdom never comes. Thy will be done. She couldn't stand the glory. She would be second to none. The way Annie tells the story, she's his only son. Annie Christian wanted to be a big star. Who does this sound like? She's his only son? Think about what he's talking about. But her kingdom never comes. See, he's putting these words out there. Words, because in his mind, he feels that him and Satan and their demons are going to literally take over the kingdom of heaven. Okay? Then he goes on and he says this in the song. He said, Anti-Christian, Antichrist, until you're crucified, I'll live my life in taxi cabs. Until you crucified, I'll live my life in taxi cabs. So then he goes on. Now I'm gonna tell you, here's the part that makes you wonder if he is a part of the if he was a part of the Illuminati, and it could have had something to do with his death, or maybe he was just judged. But listen to this here. This is what he says in the song. It says, Anti-Christian was a whore, always looking for some fun. Being good was such a bore, so she brought a gun. She killed John Lennon. She shot him down cold. She tried to kill Reagan. Everybody say gun control, gun control. That sounds like the government. Gun control, gun control. What has that got to do with this song? You understand? So we're dealing with power behind the scenes that's governing this man. You see, a wicked force that's truly manipulating him and using him to do what? Manipulate the masses.
What many don't understand is that the music industry is not some innocent medium in which we listen to merely for pleasure. It's a very notable tool being used to control and program the minds of its listeners.
One interesting song that he came out with, and the song, it really tells you what Satan's agenda was for our people. The song is called Party Man, okay? If you look at the video starts out with someone announcing, saying, all hail to the new king, right? And guess what? There's some type of big castle, it looks like. And all these thousands of people, I suppose, hundreds of people are out in front of this castle, right? And he comes out and they say, all hail to the new king. So the crowd looking at him like who, him, right? And so he does this little move and shoots fire and all these things around him comes to light. These lanterns or whatever just come on with fire, right? That's what the crowd's like, woo, wow, look at what he did, right? Now, the message in Party Man is the message he's been singing in a lot of his songs. He wants you to be out of control. Party. He had a song called Party Up. He had the one 1999. He says what? Party like it's what? 1999. Then he had the song that's called what? Let's Go Crazy. See, all of these songs, he's trying to get you to, hey, let go. Let's just party. Forget about this. Where's that coming from? Aleister Crowley. Do as thou wilt. Let's just party. Let's go out and have sex. He had another song called Dance, what was it? Dance, Music, Sex, Romance, or something like that. And the song pretty much was promoting the same stuff. Okay? But in the video, I want you to pay attention to what he shows happening in the video. In the video, there's this huge glass tank in the middle of everybody. All these people around it, and Prince dancing all around, hopping all on this tank, doing all kinds of stuff, right? And this glass tank has a woman swimming in it, right? Prince pulls out this one container and he drinks it, almost to show everybody that it's okay. Then he puts it back in his pocket. Then he pulls another one out and pours it in the tank where the woman is, right? And so people are like, oh, okay. And so right away, the people does what? They start getting wine glasses and going over to the tank, dipping in the water and start drinking it. It was poison. And at the end of the video, what happens? Everybody is dead. This is actually what he's trying to push, death, through his music. Now, there's a message, a backwards message in the song Little Red Corvette, and I want you to listen to this message. I'm going to play this message for you, okay? This message, many believe that this is what he's saying in this message, okay? Now, I'm going to let you be the judge. You listen to it, you be the judge. The song is actually about a woman's body. The ride is smooth. She must be a limousine, is what he says. This has always been Satan's agenda, to give people certain talents and power to deceive the masses so that he can push his agenda. I find it strange when you look at some of Prince's album covers, you notice that he's only showing one eye, hair covering over an eye, or just darkness on one side of his face. This represents the eye of Horus, the Egyptian god. This represents the eye of Horus, the Egyptian god. Notice the song 1999 or the album 1999. If you take it and you look at it, there's for the nine, you see the nines 999, but you see for the number 1 there's an arrow that's pointing upward, right? When you turn it upside down, you got 666 and the arrow's pointing where? Downward. That's on his album. Now, I know there's a lot of artists out there that are pushing lust in their music. You know, they're saying all kinds of crazy and filthy things, not to mention the stuff that's in rock and roll. Prince was one of the first to push this type of lust among our people in the music. And he pushed it in such a way until it was so subtle people didn't even see it coming. Now, this is only the tip of the iceberg what I've uncovered dealing with Prince. There's a lot more stuff that I can go on and on to talk to you about the messages and the stuff that's in Prince songs. Okay? It is truly wicked. His music is truly wicked. And the messages in his songs is what qualifies him to be, in my opinion, one of Satan's musical prophets.